I still haven't had my knee fixed from when I played for you. And so I said, okay, I'll do it. I just got to make sure I got a round trip prepaid ticket and show me a certificate of insurance, and then I'll play. So I flew over there, and the first two guys I ran into was Pat Hayden and J.K. McKay, and I knew them. And they said, Jim, what are you doing here? I said, I'm going to play against you tomorrow. They go, what? You're going to play? You haven't played in a year. I said, well, I'm going to play tomorrow. There we go.
Well, from there, you became a New York Giants head coach, and you served as assistant coach with the Arizona Cardinals, Denver Broncos, Giants, and Oakland Raiders. Is that all true?
Yes, yes.
Wow, that Wikipedia is pretty good today.
Yeah.
Usually it's way off. During your tenure as head coach of the Giants, your team were known for numerous postseason runs in December, for winning big games against the previously undefeated Denver Broncos. 97, you were named NFL Coach of the Year.
That is correct.
Pretty darn good.
And I'll tell you one game that stands out.
Yeah, what?
Denver won the Super Bowl. We're into the next year. They got 14 games straight, okay? And Miami Dolphins, you know, that's their pride. All those guys, Bob Greasy, I mean, they want to hold on to that record.
Mercury.
Yeah.
Mercury talks about it every year.
Oh, yeah.
Well, anyway, we beat them. We beat them. And about 2 or 3 weeks later, in the mail, I got a Miami Dolphin jersey, #1, with Fossil on the back, sent to me by Don Shula.
That's great.
There was another story you were telling us about how you went on the air and you said you guaranteed, it was your guarantee that you were going to go to the playoffs, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah, and I was warned not to do it. And everybody thinks, did you rehearse this? I said no. It was all straight, right from my gut.
What were you thinking there?
I had to make a move. We'd lost 2 games in a row, and we lost at home to the Detroit Lions, and our special teams was terrible.
How late in the season was it?
At the time, probably we were about, I want to say, 10 games in, because we won 8 straight after that with the playoffs. And but I knew I had to do something. So everybody was, am I going to fire the special teams coordinator? I said, no, I'm not doing that. But I'll tell you one thing, fellas. I got in a team meeting, and I told them that. And then I said, I want the following 15 guys. Those are our core special teams guys, okay? Had them in a room and said, fellas, here's what I'm going to do. You know I cut the most valuable player on special teams from a year ago. I cut him because he wasn't playing good. So if you think you're safe, I'm going to cut 2 of you every week. If we don't play better on special teams, I'm going to cut 2 of you. I don't care who you are. I'm going to cut 2, and I'll clean this room out. Okay? They looked at me, and a couple of the rookies went over to Strahan and Jesse Armstead and said, did you hear what he said?
Yeah.
He said, no, what did he tell you guys? He said, he's going to cut 2 of us every week. The 2 guys got the lowest grade. He said, all I know is he is on a mission. I would not mess with him. He will do it.
Yeah.
So you guys better pick it up.
And you didn't lose another game.
No, we went all the way to the Super Bowl, didn't lose another game.
That's amazing.
Now, we were talking about Coach Ditka earlier, who I had the pleasure of working with for a few years, and Ditka took umbrage with that, right?
Well, yeah, he said that, no, the Giants aren't good enough. I think he said they're not good enough, they're not tough enough, they got a tough schedule. I think Jim's totally wrong, and then I lashed out at him at the next press conference. And then they sent him over, and I did the pregame show on Saturday. He came over him. He didn't do interviews. You know, he was just a studio guy. And they sent him over, and Mike looked a little nervous doing it, you know. But
I've never seen Coach Ditka nervous about anything.
No, but I made sure. I told Pat Hanlon, our PR guy, I said, get one of the reporters to ask me about Ditka's comments. You know,
You wanted to make sure you addressed it.
Oh yeah. No question about it.
That's awesome. That's amazing.
Well, we're going to take our first commercial break. We're going to come back with more Coach Jim Fassel and Chef Rock all the way from Hawaii.
Bada bing, bada boom, baby.
Listen to Vegas Nonstop here on KBAD 920 AM. Stay right where you are.
Used car, Las Vegas Auto Sales specializes in
So far, so good.
Sorry, Facebookies. We keep freezing up here. I don't know why, but we keep freezing up on the Facebook.
I don't even have your feed.
Well, it's going. It's on.
Just like the other
It's
day.
died 3 times so far. It's camera batteries.
So I don't know what's going on, Facebookies. Let me know if you're getting the broadcast here. Are you getting it? Can you see it? Mike White, can you see it? What's happening, y'all?
I'll tell you what. Talk about it?
Well, we're on the air on this, so. Yeah, we're still live on.
So we're gonna play the Monday night thing coming back on this.
All right. Oh, Monday, yeah, Monday.
You were on the sidelines last week with Jeff? You were.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, let's talk about that when we come
Yeah.
back. When we come back.
He told me, he said, Dad, I was on the sidelines for you.
I was gonna say,
I
you
want
probably
you
won
on the
basketball
sideline
summer
for
with the
me.
Rams, too.
He was one of your coordinators?
Yeah.
Ah,
My
Yeah.
son,
Yeah.
no, he was just, he was in college or, coaching somewhere else and he was on
Right.
the sideline.
That's amazing.
Thank you, Alex.
Was he nervous last week?
No,
Given
not
the
really.
scenario in the middle of the week, like kind of.
I'll tell you, he's a unique guy. He's a Ironman competition guy.
I know.
He got invited to Hawaii.
He's done a few of those, right?
Yeah,
The triathlons?
he's not doing them anymore.
No?
No, he was out training, riding his bike, probably went for about a 60-mile ride. And as he was coming back to the Baltimore Ravens facility, a truck with the the rear view mirror sticking out hit him and just knocked him into the bushes.
And he kept going?
Yeah, and there was a car behind him and they stopped
Oh,
and they took him to the hospital.
holy cow.
And his wife, it was gonna be their first date that night. First date. And he never showed up. She couldn't get hold of him. Nothing. He just stood me up. And then
In
finally,
the ditch on the side of the road.
yeah. But then finally, he got his phone and called her and said, I'm in the hospital.
And
Well,
then
he
they got married.
The players really do like him, and you know what? He's the only coach that I've ever known that doesn't cuss. He's never said a cuss word in his life.
Oh, it doesn't cuss. Wow, that is odd.
Yeah.
Just like us.
Yeah, we never say those kinds
And
of
the
words
other
in
thing
here.
is, he's never had a drink of alcohol. Not a beer, not a wine, nothing.
Just like us.
Just like, I'll, what he does.
We'll make up.
Yeah, I'll take it.
We'll make up for it.
I got a rim shot here somewhere. Okay, we're back in 30.
Okay, I'll hand this to you. It seems to be working, everybody. Apologize for the technical difficulties. I don't know what it is, but we keep freezing up on the Facebook. I don't know.
Was that scary or what?
Every week I bang into this thing.
David Tyree is working
There we
for
go.
the Giants. He's
Oh,
in
he
the
is?
front office. Yeah.
Oh.
Is he really? I didn't know that. Where's Mario Manningham?
Come on, talk.
Okay, Jonathan Scott, Vegas nonstop talking. It's Monday, and we've got Monday Night Football. We've got the Panthers at Redskins. Jeffrey, what's the line on that?
The Redskins are 7-point favorites at home, and the over-under is 50.5 points.
And your
51
position?
points.
I'm going to take the under, but
You know what? This is a tough game because typically with a team like Carolina, who went 15-1 last year, who went to the Super Bowl last year, to see them regress the way they have, you almost don't know what to do with them in certain situations. Their former cornerback Josh Norman left them and took a $75 million payday to go to the Redskins. So this is a bit of a, like I say, a revenge game. But there's going to be a lot of emotions in this game, which leads me to lean towards taking the points here with Carolina. Now, having said that, Cam Newton is not 100%. He's nursing some injuries, and the whole team just hasn't played very well at all. But I'm going to take Carolina with the points, and I think it's going to be a high-scoring game because Washington's offense, Kirk Cousins, has done a really great job this year. They're averaging 33 points at home over the last few games. Here's a guy who took a bet on himself by taking a one-year deal, and man, is he going to cash in on that. He's doing a fabulous job, and he's helping turn that organization around, along with a lot of other players, obviously.
Yeah. What's weather forecast there?
Nothing like crazy, like low 30s, high 20s, but no precipitation. Nothing crazy like that.
Because they have had snow recently on the
Correct.
East Coast.
I've
and
been
that-
watching it.
That can take the points down.
well, that's what hurt us in Chicago.
Here's what's funny. I took the under in the Bears game against the Packers where it was minus 20 degrees. They put up over 50 points.
Yeah.
Yeah, we thought it was going to be like throwing a rock, but somehow they managed to score.
All running.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
running,
Running,
correct.
yeah.
Well, except for that 60-yarder to Jordy Nelson in overtime.
Yeah.
That set up the game-winning field goal by Mason. But you remember the playoff game with the Vikings in Seattle last year where he missed the field goal. It was like a 10-9 ball game.
Yeah.
But I don't think the weather's going to be an issue tonight, and both quarterbacks can air it out.
In studio, Coach Jim Fossil, Chef Rock in from Hawaii. We got to do a little business here. It's still shopping time, so we've got to take care of Big Dogs Brewing Company. Still offering a special. Buy $100 and get $50. What the heck is this? I'm reading
You know
this
you
wrong.
write your own
There,
copy,
it's a
right?
gift card sale. It runs through December 24th and offers a $25 free gift card with a $75 purchase. That's available through the 26th or 25th, one of those. Same limitations as Black Friday. If you spend $1,000, I know. If you spend I gotta write a new copy. If you're right,
I know you owe Kurt an apology.
if you spend $1,000 in Big Dogs gift cards, if you're a corporation, you get $425 free. That's 702-368-3715, 368-3715, or go to BigDogsBrews.com. And we've got our wine club. We're going to do a wine tasting in La Jolla. So if you're interested in wine tasting, Chef
I'll
Rod,
be there.
you'll come to the one
Bring
in
my own glass.
at the La Jolla Beach and Tennis Club.
Been there.
We're gonna do a wine tasting the end of February. So no, is that end of February? January.
January.
End of January. I don't know where I am.
You don't know
yet.
where you are. You don't know what month it is.
That's because I don't know where I am. Because Chef Rock, we went up to Chef Rock's suite at Trump Towers.
Well, don't blame it on the
I'm
Bloody
blaming
Marys.
you. I'm blaming on the
Yeah.
Bloody Mary. Steve Casarino, a.k.a. Chef Rock, been friends for 30 years. Celebrity chef and entertainer with over 30 years of professional experience in the kitchen, more than 20 years of exposure in both locally and nationally broadcast television programs. Before your career as a chef, you were an amateur boxer?
Yeah, I fought a little in college.
Who didn't?
You know, I fought amateur. I'll have to tell you, my very first fight, I got kind of set up. It was supposed to be an exhibition at Silver Mitts. And my manager was Mr. X, the guy who wore the mask in wrestling. That should have been a sign
Yeah.
of a failed career.
Yeah.
But he never showed up. I get in the ring. My roommate, my corner guy, I get in there, and I'm wearing like those white gym shorts. Remember those little ones? Back in 1977. And I get in the ring, and I should have known better when they started playing the music, the Rocky, and this guy comes in wearing the robe with the. And I fought him off for the first round. I turned my head. He punched me in the back of the head, and I flew out of the ring
Oh my goodness.
6 feet into the second
Wow.
row. I knocked out 3 people, which goes on my record.
Yeah. 3-0.
And that was pretty
Police
much
record?
the end of my career.
Playfully nicknamed Rocky by his friends, enjoyed the competition, wasn't too long before he decided a future in the kitchen was a safer bet than in the ring. Naturally, that hasn't kept his friends from calling him Rock ever since when the moment later presented himself. Celebrity chef, choice was easy, became Chef Rock. Your philosophy is your perspectives on food and life are one and the same, broadening horizons and experiencing new flavors in each every day.
You wrote that? I don't know if I've ever
you,
said
I
that.
thought you would write it.
Well, actually, yes. That is kind of my philosophy.
All right,
You know,
yeah.
teaching people how to enjoy cooking.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
we were just up in your suite, and that was great.
Yeah, did you
Hawaiian
like that?
food.
That's right. That's my new company. It's called Goomba Imports. I'm with another Goomba, Salvatore Moretti.
Yeah.
So
An
you're-
Irish fella.
You're importing Italian guys from Italy.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah.
Seek
We
to
got to get
share-
them in here before they build the wall.
Enjoying great food, great times in any endeavor. Chefs had a renowned restaurant, nationwide tasting tour. Credentialed graduate of Johnson & Wales University, degree in culinary arts.
My alma mater.
That's right.
Uh,
Fellow brethren.
Classically trained at the esteemed La Petite La Cuisine in London.
Oh my God! Don't ever do that again.
La Varenne
La Varenne in Paris.
in Bali. Co-founder of the Cleaver Brothers, which is when we met.
That's right.
Stand-up chefs that hosted a football season program called Tailgating.
That's right.
Frequently made appearances on variety shows, circuit, including Tonight Show, The View, and The Entertainment Tonight. And joining us now to talk. Who's your team? Football.
Patriots. You know, I grew up in Connecticut. Patriot fan. You
You
know,
know,
but the
Conne-
dilemma was you were right. You know,
Yeah.
Connecticut. You're
I
you're
was
right
just
in
gonna
the
say,
middle.
Connecticut is one of those fence states where
That's right.
you're either a Boston fan or a New York fan, but you're not both.
I was Patriots and a Yankee fan.
That's
so I
weird.
kind of split it.
Yeah, that's odd.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
very
yeah. I was hated in
Right?
both cities.
Bobby and I are both from Boston. It's Boston all the way, but I do
I
have
know.
friends in Connecticut that some are Yankee fans, some are Red Sox fans.
But I remember we used to go to the games when I was at Jay Wales, and that's the old stadium with the aluminum seats.
In
It was
Pawtucket?
always nice.
In Pawtucket.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, yeah.
Yeah, the Paw Sox.
Yeah, that sucked.
Well, you know, we've had during baseball season we had Mike Bryant, Chris Bryant's dad on.
We did.
So now, Tim, I've got to talk,
Oh,
ask you
yeah.
a little bit to talk about your son getting the coaching gig for the Rams.
Well, he's excited, and I think when I got word that they had let Jeff Fisher go, about 10 minutes later, I got media calls, and they said, "We've got a rumor that your son's going to be named as the interim head coach." And I sat there and I was going, "Wow!" I mean, but it makes sense because for the 5 years they've been together, their shining star has been the special teams. They've been really good on special teams. They've set NFL records. And I know the players like him. I know they do. And I know the owner likes him. I know the front office likes him. And so you know, they made him that, and then I was really excited. And he told me last week, he said, "Dad, you know, I was on the sideline for you. I want you on the sideline for me." So I booked a flight real quick, and I got his wife, and we got a flight up there on Thursday. And then he says, "You're going home on the team plane." I said, that's my Christmas present. Because, you know, the game's at night, so I'd have to spend the night. And then I was talking to his secretary, Donna, and she said, "Jim, how are you getting from the stadium to the hotel?" I said, "I haven't figured that one out, because without a car, without anything else."
Uber.
You know, yeah. But anyway, it all worked out because he said, "You're on the plane."
Nice.
That must have been fun. Did you get to hang out with some of the players and talk to them on the way back?
No, I
Coaches?
wasn't exactly sitting in the front of the
Yeah.
bus. Okay? You know, we were together, you know, and we had two of us in a 3-seat aisle, and you know, most of the time those guys up there, they got their headsets on and they're sleeping or something.
What was Jeff's take? Obviously, it's a very it was a stressful situation being thrown in like that, having to prepare on a short week. Having you on the sideline must have been a very comforting feeling for him. What was he like after the game going back?
Well, you know, he handles everything so level. You know, if he beats somebody 49-0, he's the same guy. He's not walking around pounding his chest. "Hey, we're the greatest." And the same thing. I told him that a long time ago. There's a few things that I've told him, is that it's hard to keep level in the NFL, because you are up and down, and you're going to have some bad losses and some lucky wins and all that stuff, and you just got to keep level. But the one thing he's followed that I've said to him a long time ago, the players don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. They don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Well said. And they respect that.
Yeah, and they respect that. And the players like him. And I knew he was going to try to trick plays. The problem was it was 32 degrees, and that the Hecker, his punter, John got him. He was a free agent, and John got him there, and he's an ex-quarterback. And he's made some of the best throws I've ever seen from a punting position.
Sure.
And it was 32 degrees. He got the ball, and he just, you know, and he just threw it short. Because if he'd have got it to him,
He was gone.
that guy's gone.
Oh, yeah.
And he knew he had to do some of that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And you change it up a bit and you keep the other team on their toes.
Well, it had to be a proud moment for you, for sure. You know, and we had Mike Bryant on, and he just was like all aglow. So, you know, it's nothing surprising. I think we've got to have you on with Mike Bryant. For Father's Day, we have you guys back. Come on, as proud fathers, that'd be a great show. What team do you follow? Are you a Giants fan still? Or
Well, I
NFL?
follow a lot of teams because I do radio shows and different things like that. And most of the time people want to know about quarterbacks and stuff. I was on Colin Cowherd's show last week, and
How's Colin?
he's good.
Yeah?
Yeah,
He's a character, huh?
Yeah, well, he was here a lot of years. I know.
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't know him
Oh, yeah.
He
there,
was in Vegas for a while.
Oh, yeah.
but
Just in the thick
you know,
ones.
Is
I
there-
follow a lot of teams. Obviously, I still root with the Giants, and I get calls back and forth a little bit from them and things like that. But right now, I'm following the Rams for sure. I got to get a side job because of my whole family's coming up. All of our kids and their kids and everybody's coming up, so I'm buying tickets now. And I go, oh boy.
Yeah, well, I was watching the Dallas Cowboys game last night, and I saw Jerry Jones's son and grandson were in the booth, and they were talking about his grandson, and they played their high school game at the Cowboys Stadium. I don't know if you saw it.
I saw Jerry Jones' grandson.
The Jerry Jones grandson.
Yeah,
That was kind of cool.
that was wild.
Jeffrey, what are you liking for Thursday and then Sunday?
Well, Thursday, Coach can talk about Thursday's game. We have a big division rival with the Giants going to Philadelphia to play those the Dirty Birds in Philadelphia, the Eagles. You know how that rivalry is.
Oh well, if you want another quick story, I'll tell you.
We love stories.
People ask me all the time, what was the most gut-wrenching you had as a coach? Which one was really, I said, we had beaten the Philadelphia Eagles 8 straight times. In 4 years, they didn't beat us, okay? Now they're in the playoffs. We've got the home field advantage all the way to the Super Bowl. And who's coming into town is the Philadelphia Eagles. And I thought, oh boy, if I lose this game, man, they're gonna run me out of town. I mean, you beat them, you know, and I know what the message is gonna be. Hey guys, forget the ones in the past, because that coach is telling them we can't get them. We got to go get them this time. And it was a hell of a fight. We beat them. But I always tell people that that one was the scariest game I was ever coached. I was more nervous about that one than any one of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Any playoff game, any Super Bowl?
No, I mean, I was just, you know how New York is,
I
man.
know,
you
I do.
You got the home field advantage. You got the bye. You got everything going to the Super Bowl.
Let's just wrap it up
And
now.
we can't drop this one, fellas. And especially, if we'd been back and forth, but we beat them 8 straight times for 4 years, and their coach was just reminding them of that.
Absolutely. And you know that the Eagles fans are some of the most passionate, crazy fans in the
Oh,
world.
yeah, yeah.
They're out of their minds.
That's why
They're
they're-
Philadelphia. Oh, yeah.
Well, we're going to take another commercial break. A shout out to our friend Adrian Zemed watching from the UK.
Adrian!
So you're listening to Vegas Nonstop. Taking a quick commercial break. Stay right where you are.
Specializes in
Yeah, that
financing
really,
entertainers
that really
and
was.
hospitality
That was
workers.
Was that the last regular season game of the year?
That was a playoff game.
Oh, it was your first playoff game.
Yeah.
And they were the wild card.
Yeah.
I got you.
They beat Tampa Bay, then they're coming to play us
yeah.
at Giants
Oh,
Stadium.
yeah. You had to take that one.
Oh, boy. That's
What year was that?
2000. Yeah, because
That's when you guys played Baltimore in the Super
Yeah.
Bowl?
Yeah, those guys, the defense, we could.
That
I
was a scary defense.
Well, I can tell you the other ones was when we were playing Minnesota, the week of, or if you want to talk about this when we're on.
I remember the Minnesota game.
Yeah, we can talk about it on the air.
Okay,
Is it the
I
overtime
can
game?
tell you now, huh?
That was the overtime game? Minnesota or no?
No. We beat them 41-0.
Yeah.
But what happened was they were coming in and they had all the weapons, receivers and quarterback, everybody, high scoring. So the media kept asking me in New York, obviously you're going to run the football and try to chew the clock up.
Right,
These
and
guys
keep their
score.
offense off the
Yeah,
field, yeah.
And I played right into that hand. Oh yeah, geez, we got to slow it down. These guys can score points, man. We're going to run the ball. All along, we're going to throw the hell out of it because the weakest part was their secondary.
Right.
So then it's halftime. It's 34-0. We got them down. I've never seen a standing ovation. There wasn't one guy sitting in the seat. It was the loudest I've ever seen it when we left the field. Well, I got Sean Payton and I got my special teams coach, and I said, "Here's the
Sean
deal.
Payton.
Here's the deal. We are going to come out and play the starters one series because I want them to come out and be physical and in their face, okay? And then all of the starters are out, okay? And I want Kerry Collins. He'll be out. He's not playing another down, okay? Jason Garrett handled the whole second half.
1 minute.
Okay, and so we're walking up the field. I got John Fox, and I said, "Foxy, one series with the starters, and they're out."
And he's like,
And he goes, "Jim, these guys can score, man. They can score." I said, "If they score 35 points, you're fired."
No pressure.
But I love listening to the names that was on his coaching staff. Sean
Right.
Payton,
Yeah.
John Fox.
Yeah.
Hey, well,
all head
you know,
coaches still in
when
the
I,
league.
when I hired him, John Fox had been out of the league for a year, and he only had one interview for a DB job, and I hired him. Sean Payton was a quality control guy for the Eagles, tried to get into
Quality
the NFL.
control?
Quality control. He was going back to college. When I asked him, "What's your plans?" he says, "I'm looking for a job in college."
What's a quality control guy do?
Yeah, that's what I was going
He
to say.
does all the stats, breaks down the film.
Oh,
He's like a computer.
Go.
he's like a computer.
We can talk about that again. if you
Yeah,
want.
yeah. Let's talk about that again.
Absolutely,
The
that's a great
computer wore
story.
tennis shoes.
I think that's our Monday song.
Huh?
Hi, Luciana.
Come on, speed it up.
Little head rocking music for Monday afternoon.
Here we go.
Jonathan Scott, Vegas Nonstop. And we really don't like Mondays here, but we've got to deal with it. Coming to you live from Las Vegas, Nevada, entertainment capital of North America, soon to be the football capital of North America. What do you think? Do you think we're going to get Raiders?
I wouldn't bet on it. I wouldn't bet on it.
No?
You got to get 24 votes, and Jerry Jones and Bob Kraft are really behind helping him move here.
Right.
But you got to get 24 passed, okay? Now, the only question I want to know is this. The last guy who moved the franchise without getting that,
Jim Irsay?
no, Al Davis. He moved him to L.A., and the NFL sued him, and Al Davis won the suit. Now, have they changed the rules, laws, or something? Because Al just moved. He didn't even wait.
We didn't ask
for him.
anybody.
He didn't ask anybody, and the NFL sued him. They went to court, and Al Davis won.
I was going to
So,
say the NFL lost.
You don't hear about that happening too often, do you?
Well,
was
not,
once.
not these days.
Has there been an update on the deflated balls by the with the Steelers?
I'm doing fine right now.
I would love your take on this. We all know the Tom Brady, the Patriots deflated ball situation from 2 years ago with Baltimore and the Colts and how that played out. 2 weeks ago, we had an incident where I believe the Giants took 3 or 4 balls from the Steelers, and they tested low on the balls, like 11 psi or 10.5 psi, and yet you got swept under the rug, no big deal.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of things going on and how they judge it at that time, because the Patriots in that game scored more points in the second half
With the good balls.
with the good balls.
Yes.
Yeah, so don't tell me that that influenced it. I played quarterback. Come on, give me a ball. I can't tell you if it's a little underinflated or overinflated.
You never had a preference as a quarterback, if it was harder or softer or easier to grip?
Hell no. When I got the ball from the center, all I wanted to do was get back there and throw it.
Right.
I wasn't going to
Break it.
sit around and wait that. And then prior to that, you know, the NFL watches the games closely. They're all over the field there. Okay, they had one time San Diego Chargers. There was Stickum, and you can't use Stickum,
Right.
and it was on a ball. Okay,
It's like a
because
pitch.
somebody had it.
It's like a pitcher in baseball.
Yeah, they just said, hey, throw those balls out. Nothing happened to them. And then they got Chicago Bears one time on a very cold day with their balls on the sideline. The ball boys had it right next to the heater, or heating them up. And they called down, the NFL did, and they should. They called down to whoever was there from the NFL and said, tell them they can't put the balls next to a heater. But
Interesting.
they didn't do anything about it.
They didn't move their balls?
They kept them warm.
I knew before I said that it was going to sound funny.
So
I got no answer for that one,
So
okay?
from your standpoint, and I want to get this out on the air for all of our Patriots fans out there, Tom Brady wasn't doing anything to tweak the game in his favor in any way.
No, I don't buy it. I think that you know, every quarterback will tell the clubhouse boys how to get the ball.
Correct.
Okay, you just got to do that, and maybe that they put it right at the bottom of where you can
Of the
have
gauge,
it.
yep.
Yeah, the gauge, and then somehow with a cold or whatever, it deflated. I had one time when I was the coordinator at the Raiders. Okay, we're gonna go play the Jets.
Was Madden there?
I'm sorry.
Was that during Madden? During John Madden's year?
No. Mike White was the head coach. Anyway, so we were going to play the Jets, and of course, Al Davis wants to beat the New York teams because he's from there. And so it was going to be real cold back there. So I told the equipment guy, I said, I want 10 brand new balls, fully inflated. Don't rub them down, and we're going to practice with them. And so we come out there, and Timmy Brown and Hofstadter, I said, Jim, these balls, man, they're hard.
Like rocks.
They're like rocks.
Yeah.
And I said, that's where the balls are going to be Sunday. That's where they're going to be. So we're going to practice with them.
Smart.
So Al Davis comes out to practice, and he's there, and he goes, Jim, come here. I go over there, and he goes, what's the deal with 10 brand new balls every day? I explained to him, because it's going to be cold, and he goes, huh. You know, I never thought of that. That's a hell of an idea. I said, okay. Well, that's what you pay me for.
Now, Wednesday, I think it's ESPN, one of the stations, it might be NFL Network, is going to play the Bears, what they call the Fog Bowl. I don't know if you remember
Oh,
that
I remember that.
particular
Against the
game.
Eagles.
They're going to air
And
that
Randall
bowl.
Cunningham, right?
And during break, you were talking about a Giants-Eagles game. Is that the game that stands out? I mean, there's a lot of them, but you were telling that story with the Giants, if you want to repeat that story.
Well, that was incredible because we'd beaten them, and you knew what the other coach was saying to them, you know. And so we beat them. It was a tough game. I mean, it was a hard-fought game. Now, the next week, when we're playing for the NFC Championship game, we're playing Minnesota Vikings, and those guys could score at will. I mean, they were an air machine.
High-powered offense.
Yeah, high-powered. And
Randy
so the
Moss.
media just set it up for me perfectly. They said, you're going to run the ball and use the clock and slow the game down, aren't you? Yeah, oh yeah, that's our plan. That's what we're going to do. Slow the game down and run the ball. The whole time we're going, we're going to be ready. We're going to be ready. We're going to throw the ball because we thought the weakness was the secondary.
That's great.
So all of a sudden, it's 34-0 at halftime. 34-0. And a standing ovation in New York. It was loud. I mean,
And
really
you don't
loud.
see one in
and
these other
everybody's
things, yeah.
on their feet. So I went to Sean Payton and I went to Larry McDuff, my special teams coach, and I said, here's the deal, guys. We're going to come out with a starting unit. They're going to play one series, and I want to take control of the game with those guys, and then they're out. Now, Kerry Collins is not going to play one more play. Jason Garrett, Dallas Cowboy coach, he had the second half as a quarterback. And so we were on defense, so I could talk to those two guys and explain it. And I said, I'll tell the team. And then we were going in, John Fox, I said, Foxy, we are going to play the starters one series, and they're all out, okay? He goes, oh, Jim, wait a minute. I mean, these guys can score at will. I mean, they can score fast. I said, if they score 35 points in the second half, you're fired. So,
It's a great story.
Now, you've been in broadcasting, you've been on this side of the microphone as well. Do you like calling color commentary? Do you like calling a game?
you know, I did that. I had the Sunday night game. And
With Marv Albert, right?
rotating, but yes, sometimes they rotated guys. But I enjoyed it, and I learned. And you know, broadcasting television and broadcasting radio is different. I mean, you got short bites, and you got to get your point across, and you're telling people. Like I heard some guys on the radio say, "Oh, they're going to play a lot of cover 4," you know, and I'm going,
What does that mean?
I bet you nobody knows
Yeah.
what that means, you know. And so
Exactly.
you
What
try
does
to
that mean?
explain it. Well, you have 4 DBs, and each one of them have 1/4 of the field. Okay, and then there's a lot more to it. If tight end blocks, one guy will come up.
Right.
But there's 4 deep, basically, 4
Okay.
deep. And I always tried to describe that at the beginning of the broadcast, that it's 4 deep. There's not a safety up in the hole. There's not then. So when I said that cover 4 was this or that and whatever, then I think they kind of had
At least now they can visualize it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little
Even
bit.
when you just said it, you know, each DB has a 4th of the field. It makes sense. In the secondary, you just cut into 4s, and that's who covers one.
Yeah.
Jeffrey and I we're going to start something about teaching women how to bet on football.
Yeah.
If nothing else, we'll get to meet more women.
Well, if you think about it, they all hang out with us watching football, and some of them actually really know what they're talking about and follow it very closely. But when it comes to betting the football, which a lot of us do, whether it's with fantasy or straight up the window here in Las Vegas, you know, a lot of the women don't understand I'm laying the points, I'm taking the points, the over, the under, parlay, teasers.
A push.
I have never bet on a game.
Wow.
Never. No. Boy, you get in a lot of trouble when you're coaching.
I was going to say, I can see why you wouldn't.
I called Pete Rose as my first witness.
Charlie Hustle. Is he going to ever get into the Hall of Fame?
I hope so.
I hope so too. I think he should.
He deserves it.
We're here with Coach Jim Hustle. We're here with Chef Rock. We're going to take our last commercial break. You're listening to Vegas Nonstop here on KBAN 920 AM. Stay right where you are.
Bobby.
that in there.
Las Vegas Auto Sales specializes in financing and
get back to that.
About 12 minutes. Break 3 minutes.
That's why when I was trying to, I didn't know when I was going to be a pairman coming. And
I'm going to put you down for a minute. Be nice.
Okay. Okay, good. You guys are good.
Yeah, you
They pay you for this? Having this much fun?
Yeah.
Pleasure.
So anytime you want,
Coach,
you
it's a
come
pleasure
before
every
the end
time,
of the season, you know, during playoffs or
All right,
something.
yeah,
Come on
I
back,
mean-
I'll holler at you.
Yeah, do that. I'm back and forth. If I'm in town, happy to do it.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Okay.
you. Have a great
Okay.
holiday if I don't talk to you.
I better grab my phone.
Yeah, you'll need that.
There you go.
That's over done.
Yeah.
Thanks again, Jim.
Okay.
Appreciate
Okay,
you.
Okay.
So I was saving you for last. I knew he had to
Yeah,
go.
I know. Yeah, I figured.
Oh, and we're still,
Yeah. I told them.
Just put it down for a second.
I told them to hold on for a minute.
Okay.
Hopefully they're listening.
Yes, let's close up on Chef Rock.
How you doing, my brother from another mother?
Tell us about life in
We're up
Hawaii.
here. You know what's fun about Hawaii?
About life in Hawaii, make it good.
I know. You know, it's funny. Everyone says, "Oh, well, where do you live?" And I go, "Well, I live part-time in Hawaii and part-time in San Diego." You know, and they go, "Oh, wow, that sounds really tough." I go, "It could be Cleveland and Detroit, but it's not." Okay?
Yeah,
I
right.
think if you're
Could be
gonna pick
Chicago.
2 great cities to live, Hawaii is not a city, but I live,
It's
basically
not a
all
city.
over.
It's an island.
It's an island. Let's face it.
It's a series of
It's
islands.
a series of right turns.
You know, I
It
was.
is.
I used to work with in Boston, lives on Oahu now.
Yeah, that's where I live, Oahu. So I
I
go
thought-
back and forth. 'cause
I was there last Christmas. I told you I was there last
Yeah.
Christmas, and I went to the North Shore. I have a friend that lived over there, and Obama was in town.
He's in town
And,
now again.
and Highway, whatever it is, one
The H2 or
H1
Oh, forget about
was
it.
closed.
There's only 3 highways.
It was closed, and the funny part was
I really had a pee. I really had a pee. And we're stuck in the car, and I see this old grandma, Hawaiian grandma, get out of the car with a blanket, go to the side of the road with the blanket, and squat and do her business. And if grandma could do it, I'm going.
You're going.
I'm going. So, yeah.
Well, that's what I love about the Hawaiians. They just go and do it.
Yeah, they just go do it.
You know,
Yeah.
they're great people.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I love it. I've been over there for about 5 years now, and you learn the culture. You know, because it is a different culture than ours.
I found the people to be just so warm and friendly. Now I know, neighborhoods are neighborhoods.
All my
but
friends over there are real local Hawaiians, and they have roots all the way
Did you
back.
share on your? Did you share the broadcast
What's that?
on the Facebook? Why don't you share it?
Yeah.
Go to my page and push share.
Oh, right now.
Yeah, right now, because
So-
this is going to be your segment.
Yeah. So how do I do that now? Go to Facebook.
Go to my at Jonathan Scott LV and push
Let's just
share.
go for a second, wait for Jeffrey.
Yes. Oh, Christmas Eve by Metallica.
Yeah.
Metallica Christmas. All right. God bless ye, merry gentlemen.
Metallica, actually.
But that's the song, isn't it?
Huh?
But God bless you, merry gentlemen by Metallica.
Carol of the Bells, it says.
Oh, okay,
We'll
cool.
find out in a second.
All right. A rockin' Christmas. All right, Jonathan Scott, Vegas Nonstop, coming to you live from Las Vegas, Nevada, the entertainment capital of North America. And if you're looking for that perfect Christmas present for your girlfriend, your wife, your mistress, or all of the above, how about giving the gift of wine? That's right, you can order a year's supply of artisan wines delivered to your significant other's door every month. You can order 4 bottles of red, 4 bottles of white, or 2 and 2 of each. It's almost like Christmas every month. Imagine the look on your special someone's face every month when you get wine delivered right to their door. So I started a wine lovers club with Jeffrey about 2 months ago. We're having way too much fun with our weekly wine tastings. Sign up today by visiting our Vegas Wine Lovers website at vegaswinelovers.com. That's vegaswinelovers.com. Or you can leave me a message at 702-883-1111. That's 883-1111. Join today, get a special complimentary invitation to our La Jolla wine tasting at La Jolla Beach and Tennis Club at the end of January. And that's it, vegaswinelovers.com for the wine lover at your house, 702-883-1111, 883-1111. Give the gift of wine. So, Coach Fossil was here. He had great stories.
What a great guy.
Yeah, well, now you're in town, and you've been doing your show. Now, we met like 30 years ago
30
when you
years
were
ago,
doing the
Jonathan.
Clever Cleaver Brothers
That's right.
and doing tailgating parties, which I thought was just amazing. A great concept where you would just show up and cook.
Yeah, actually, we ended up doing a lot with the NFL. We did tailgating. We did Gourmet with the Goose with Tony Siragusa for 3 seasons. We did it with the Eagles, the Browns, the Titans. But I'll have to tell you, the best was the Raiders. We go up to the Raider headquarters, and the producer goes, if you have to go to the bathroom or leave the production area, tell me, because you need an escort, because if you go by Al Davis's room on your own and he sees you, he's going to jack you up. I mean, he will take you down, and he carries a gun. And we said, yeah, right, sure. So we were shooting all these segments with the players, Rich Gannon, Daryl Johnson, Daryl Jackson, you know.
Yeah.
And I had to go to the bathroom, and it was a break, and I didn't see the producer. So me and my partner, Lee Garavitz, were crawling on the floor under the eave of the doorway of Al Davis's office, and we could see his head. We could see him sitting at the desk, but he couldn't see down. So we're crawling like army guys.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we look up, and the producer's standing there, and he's just beat red. He is so pissed off, and he grabs us by the arm and drags us over.
Oh, really?
And he said, if he saw you, he really would have came out. I'm going, Al Davis, come on, we could take him.
Yeah.
And I go, I don't know. You know, it was a fun time, but the best part was the players. You know, that was the year they were at the playoffs, and the Goose jumped on Rich Gannon, dislocated his shoulder in the playoff game.
Yeah,
To
well.
get to the Super Bowl. Yeah, that was some good times with
Coach
those
Fossil
guys.
doesn't think the Raiders are going to be here. I do. I think it's going to
I
happen.
think they got a strong chance. Strong
Yeah,
chance.
Stephanie and I were with Mark Davis when Ditka was here in town, and I'm just moving over. Ditka was here in town, and I asked one of the guys at the Silverton. I said, "Do you think the Raiders are going to be here in Vegas?" And he said, "Well, if it's any indication, Mark Davis has a 702 exchange on his phone."
Yeah, just in
So-
case.
Yeah, so Mark Davis is not going anywhere. He's going to be here for quite a while.
Now you and I had some great times in New Orleans at the,
Oh
at the
my
television
gosh! Oh,
conventions.
the Nappy convention. That
Back when television
was television,
when people were
baby.
spending money on syndicated television.
Oh my gosh!
We would
those
tear
were
it
the
up. We were in
days.
New Orleans a bunch of times. We were out here. I was still living in Chicago.
That's right.
And you guys were always a hit because you always had food.
We had food and babes. Remember,
Food and babes.
we'd
What a
have like
great
the
combo
Tulane
they had.
cheerleaders doing cartwheels in front of our booth. Yeah, we had something going on. But now, you know, we retired from that 5 years ago, and I went off as Chef Rock.
Yeah, now you and I are going to team
Now
up.
we're going to team up, baby. You know, I got the Chef Rock TV show. It's based in Hawaii, and now it's syndicated all over the world. I'm hitting like
You're all over the world, and you've got some great products. You've got some knives that
That's
are.
right.
What's special about those knives? You gave me some, so I need to know before.
let me tell you, just to back it up, I ran into an old buddy of mine who from Nappy, Salvatore Moretti, and we ended up teaming up.
Salvatore Moretti,
An Irish guy, and his
And
mother.
the name of the I love the name of the company.
Goomba
Imports.
We're just a couple of Goombas trying to make a buck.
I'm
you
an
know what
honorary.
saying?
I'm an honorary.
You're an honorary
Yeah.
Goomba.
Johnny Scatino.
Johnny Scatina, how you
Hey,
doing over there?
I'm doing good. How you doing? I'm doing
Yeah,
everybody.
yo.
How you doing?
So we started Goomba Imports
Right.
to bring in products to showcase the chefs. Kind of like a broker, but not a broker. So we ended up doing a showcase today, and we had some great products. You know, Turbo Pot's one of our clients. That's got a patented fin bottom. Easy cooking, fast, efficient, really cool. Beck's Confections.
You hear the
Andy
music?
Beck.
You hear the
Oh, I hear I'm talking over here. Like we started the Goomba Imports because my friend Michael, come over here.
What
Michael.
about the knives? What's special about
The
those
knives? Those are actually German steel knives. Very nice, full tong. So when you're looking for a knife, you look for the blade.
Full
extend
blade.
all the way to the back.
Right.
So
What do
the
you look
handle-
for? What do you look for in a knife?
You
It's
want the
called the
blade
tong.
to go right down through the handle as opposed to the blade sitting on top of the handle where it can separate. You want a full piece of steel right through.
And without rivets. Rivets get loose. They
Correct.
break off. Handles break. If you're going to spend that kind of money on knives, Gunther Wilhelm makes a really nice knife. We had those in the booth today too. Noble Starter, which was really cool stuff. You guys tried that today.
Yeah, we did.
It's basically like a flavor, condensed flavor, I should say, that you could add to any of your dishes.
We had the bow tie pasta with Hawaiian.
Oh, that's our no boil pasta with VJ's Butcher Block, one of our clients and one of my sponsors in Hawaii, makes this venison sausage. And people, when I tell them, venison, where the hell do they get venison? On the island of Molokai
Yeah, there's a lot of deer.
in Maui. A lot of
Yeah,
deer.
I know.
Axis deer, too. Not the little boys
How'd
that
they get there?
prance
Big
around.
boys.
Yeah,
I didn't know deer could swim.
yeah,
bring-
well, very fast.
You bring a couple over and the rest is history.
Well, I was just going to say they're like
Yes, dear.
they're like wabbits.
That's
They really
funny,
go
wabbit.
crazy
Yeah.
over there. There's lots. In fact, here's the funny story about over on the island of Molokai. There's one guy has the license to kill. One guy, and when he goes, he actually coaxes them onto his ranch, and then they basically put them out of their life while they're sleeping. no, really, the essence of that is that it doesn't release the
I was
endorphins,
gonna
like
say,
they're being
it makes
fearful and chased.
it doesn't stress the meat.
And I'll tell you what, it is like beef. I'll tell you, it's the best venison. So we make a venison Italian sausage.
Sausage.
We do a beef bacon, dry rubbed with Hawaiian salt and smoked with kiave wood. Unbelievable products. Also, Sandus sauce. I don't know if you guys tried the pulled pork I made.
Yeah.
Yes, I love it.
Oh,
that was
my
great.
gosh. But that was basically a crock pot, a butt steak with a butt roast with the bone in, and then the Sandus makes it's a blackberry bourbon sauce. And I covered it with that, and that created that juice and those beautiful.
So if any
Nolans.
restaurants are in town,
Nolans.
and you know, if you want to try the food or you want to get a hold of Chef Rock, you go to the website, which is chefrock.com. I think,
Yeah, you
right?
go to or Goomba Imports.
Goomba Imports.
Yeah, we
one
have,
of
we have
those.
all that.
Jeffrey, we got a couple
You know?
minutes left here. Can you give us our 3-pick or 4-pick for the week?
We're gonna go for
Run it hot. We're going to be doing G Money Vegas.
We are going to be doing G Money Vegas. G Money Vegas was 3 out of 4 picks this past week. We had the Steelers, the Raiders, and the Pats all winners. Unfortunately, the under in the Bears-Packers game went
This
over.
week.
But we did hit for 75%. Thursday night, the New York Giants are going to go into Philadelphia and destroy the Eagles. They're laying 2.5. The line is perfect. They win by a field goal. You cover.
Giants.
Here's a game that I also like, and you're going to think I'm crazy. My New England Patriots are at home against the New York Jets. Jets have nothing to play for, but they would love nothing more than to stick it to the Patriots. That's what they're living for right now. And don't ask me why the line is 16.5. I will take the New York Jets with 16.5, and they're going to keep that game within 10 points.
Giants. Jets.
We got here's a bold prediction. Cleveland Browns are going to win their first game of the year.
No.
No.
in Cleveland against the San Diego Chargers.
Oh.
Phillip Rivers is going to come in. They have nothing to play for. The team is depleted. They have no running game. Melvin Gordon's hurt. This is where Cleveland makes their mark and gets off the schneid.
16.5.
No, they're only
I think it's 16.5
Cleveland.
points.
Cleveland is +6 at home.
Oh, +6.
+6.
That's all.
That's all. And finally, hold on. I'm looking. I feel like Karnak here.
Yes, Karnak.
Arizona Cardinals are traveling to Seattle. They're going to cover 9 points in Seattle. Seattle's going to be resting some players. They won the division. They're already locked into the 3 seed. And Arizona wants nothing more than to beat Seattle in Seattle.
I want to thank our guests. I want to thank Coach Jim Fossil for visiting.
Oh, he was great.
Great guy. I want to thank Chef Rock.
Mahalo, my brother.
Mahalo, 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 mahalo. Jeffrey with a G. Everybody eat well, party hard. If you see us out there, please stop in and say hello. Go to any of my side, at Jonathan Scott LV. Eat well, party hard, my friends. See you
Bye,
next
guys.
Bye.
That was cool, right? Yeah, we have a fun show here.
Apologize for the technical difficulties.
Wow, Coach was great.
He was awesome.
He might be one of the best guests we've ever had.
Great stories.
He's top 10.
Okay, thanks everybody. Drop me a line. Let me know what you're thinking. See ya.
I'm always partial.